Hi friends, welcome to Positive Power with your host Michele Dionne. Thanks for joining me for another week. Last week we talked about looking through your past, picking out things that you learned. You know, there's good things, there's bad things, you learned what to do, you learned what not to do. And so we talked about using those skills and lessons and moving forward to have a more successful life today. So reflecting on that and reflecting on the fact that we just went through Mother's Day yesterday, when you look at those two things, it makes me ask the question of what lessons are you taking from your past that you're applying differently to the youth that you're around to make them maybe feel better about themselves, have a more positive future, be a healthier person. You remember, I don't know, everybody watching this is a different age, but when I was growing up, you had to sit at the table until you were done your food. You had to eat everything on your plate because you know there was children that were starving in Africa. And somehow, if I didn't eat everything on my plate, they were going to suffer for it. Right? And some kids, they had to stay there until bedtime. Can you imagine? Maybe you can imagine. Maybe you're there. So that's something that we've learned now as a society is so unhealthy. It is just so bad. And you look at the obesity level and you look at these bad eating habits that we had with our kids, or we had with our parents, I suppose. And so eliminating that hopefully will help them be healthier people. We've learned about portion control, all sorts of different things, right? So we've evolved. So looking at bigger things in your life, what have you learned that you can carry forward to either eliminate from your kids or help them just have a better surrounding, better self-confidence, right? Do you come from a family where maybe there was a lot of swearing and name calling, even though, you know, maybe sometimes the parent says, well, Jimmy knows that I don't mean it. That's debatable. Anyways, so you look at stuff like that, and if you were raised like that, maybe that's not what you want moving forward, right? So maybe you're going to talk to your kids different. Maybe you were raised by an alcoholic parent that was very violent, and so maybe you want to, you know, break that chain and, well, try not to be an alcoholic, try not to be violent, but also educate your kids on alcoholism, on, you know, genetics, on all sorts of different things, and explain to them about, you know, things are okay in moderation or whatever your beliefs are. We had a really big one in my biological family, actually. There's 7 children in 9 years, and we were raised in 5 different homes. And all of us 7 kids, so now we range between, I'm the youngest, so we're between 49 and 58. And every single one of us has raised our own children. So that's like a big, huge thing. You know, my birth mother and her siblings were raised in different homes. I think they all knew each other, but they still were raised separately, and then it carried forward with her, and then all these children that were raised separately. So now every one of us have broken that pattern. That's a big thing, right? So now moving forward, I hope my kids do something a step better, because, you know, whatever, and just evolving and breaking that pattern of, you know, being separate from your parent, you know, it's like a pretty big thing. Makes Mother's Day really weird, I'll tell you that. But anyways, so, you know, look back at your life and see what it is. See what it is you can change. How, you know, maybe your mom called you fat, and so now, you know, you don't want to ever call your daughter fat or your son fat or whatever, because you don't want to carry that on and have them feel that lack of self-confidence, or, you know, whatever. Or, like, I don't know, every scenario is different, but just look back in reflection and, like, what can you change? And even if it's a little thing, like the verbiage, you know, anything, all the little changes will add up to big things at some point. And if every generation can get a little bit better, every generation can get a little bit more loving to each other and loving to ourselves. And, you know, I know there's no quick fix to this weird world that we live in, but over time, collectively, we can make it a really great place. I know we can. I don't know if I'll see it, but I'm willing to do my part. So there you go. So that's our video for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Don't forget how awesome you are. You're fantastic. You're a walking miracle.